Wearability.
Hey YouTube, Dawson Rider here. Welcome to my review for the Power Rangers Lightning Collection Mighty Morphin White Helmet. This is kind of a big occasion because this is technically our first, not technically, it is our first Lightning Collection non-figure, meaning that we know for sure that the collection label is meant to label all collectors things and not just the figures, but pretty cool. Since it's the first one, I want to just take a quick look at the packaging. You have a shot of the helmet there on the front, and we continue the tradition of Lightning Collection using the cool box art, which I think is neat because I really like that box art. Front shot of the helmet, side shot of the helmet, side shot of the art. That's really cool. Like, that could be like in storage looking neat like that. And then on the back, it gives a little like excerpt about Tommy's story. And then it says right there, Tommy's a deviant. No, but it gives it like all the languages and stuff. And they actually use like the old mmpr logo up here in black and white and stuff like that. But yeah, pretty par for the course. Now let's go ahead and get the actual stuff. Alright, so now we have it out of box. Here in just a couple of minutes, I am going to be switching to third-person mode and wearing it and doing comparisons to other helmets, but I wanted to give kind of a close-up look at the details. And honestly, I think this thing looks really nice. Like, for whatever reason, this camera angle I don't even think is doing it as much justice, but when you see me wearing it and see me doing the third-person part of the review, you'll be able to see, I think it's pretty much, I would say, I could be wrong because I'm not good at math, but it's like a 90% accurate to the way the proportions look in the show. I'm not 100% certain if the gold is exactly accurate, but I think it looks pretty solid. It doesn't look too dull or too shiny. I think it looks really nice. The helmet in general has a nice like shiny quality sheen to it. This is more of a matte finish, but this has a nice like helmet, like actual gloss feel to it, which is really nice. It is a bit of a smaller size than the Legacy ones, which we'll be getting to comparisons here in a second. Let's check out, that's just a big, it looks like a big white ball there. That's really funny, but I think it looks really nice, especially sitting there on the shelf. It looks quality. It feels quality, which is something I had a problem with the Legacy ones. I'm not saying necessarily this is 100% worth the 80 bucks, but I think that just in terms of feel, even if it's smaller, just the quality of the plastic feels more like a collector's item helmet. As far as wearing it goes, we open it up here, you can see these little things, but they're just for show, for the accuracy of the clips. But they actually use a magnet system right here to keep it closed, and then it kind of latches here. I'll probably mention this a couple times in the review, but I do kind of wish you had the option for both. I do kind of like this though, because it makes it easier, and you do have a little bit of security there with this little bit, but I wish it was a little bit more because sometimes it has a tendency to pop open, which is kind of annoying, but I do kind of like that. It makes things a little bit easier and seamless and makes it feel kind of cool when you're taking the helmet on and off. And then you have the adjustable system in here, which actually has this nozzle that you turn to adjust it for the size of your head. And I can actually wear it with my glasses on if I literally turn it all the way up and then just a few notches down for my big old head without glasses. But I appreciate the fact that I can wear it with glasses. It's a lot nicer. It's a lot more of a sturdy material. It feels a lot more professional than the ones with the Legacy ones where they were always falling out and was kind of a pain to adjust and put on, whereas this one's just nice and seamless. Like, adjust it, snap it on. It's really nice. It's a bit hard to breathe in there, but you have that. Real quickly, before we get to the third-person mode, I just want to show off the stand really quick. Obviously, the most exciting part of the review, the stand. But you basically get this bottom piece. You attach this tube, and then attach this top piece. Pretty self-explanatory. And then you attach the helmet at the top, like so, and it does its where's Dobby? I don't know. It does its job just fine. The only real nitpick I have about it is I think that this mmpr sticker looks really cheap, and I wish it was an engraving bit instead, but it's nice to have a stand for it to fit in with the others in some way, but I don't know why. Like I said, this feels all nice and collector's item-y. That's a technical term. And then you have this cheap mmpr sticker, which feels like they got it from like one of those quarter machines in the 90s and then just brought it here. All right, now I'm going to switch to a third-person view so you can get an idea of what it looks like on a person, or me. Okay, so you can see I have it on here. Don't know how I sound. I might sound like I'm in a bubble, but you can see it looks pretty good. I mean, I think this is pretty solid, pretty accurate. It might be, and I don't think it is, I can't really see that well, but it might be bursting at the seams a little bit because I actually can fit my glasses in here, which is really nice. It was like possible with these, but it's a lot easier with this. It is kind of hard to breathe in here though. Like, I have really deliberate breaths. I feel like Darth Vader, like, or more like Kylo Ren, like, I will finish what you started. So that's kind of a thing, but I think it looks really nice. And I do kind of like the magnet thing in some ways, but again, I kind of wish it had a regular clasp. I don't know if you can hear the heavy breathing. It's really funny actually to me. I'm like, I don't know if you can see the clasp. Anyway, I'm going to take it off now so I can sort of talk about these side by side. Okay, so kind of having them side by side now. This one is a little bit smaller, like it's not perfect to scale with this. Like not exactly, I mean it is a little bit of a different type of helmet because even though this one's a little bit exaggerated, it does kind of have that more like long nose effect, whereas this one's much more of a rounded one. So there is like a difference between the two. Like you can see the way they look in terms of, this one definitely looks a lot more accurate in my opinion because this one isn't trying to be the White Ranger. It's failing pretty hard at it. You're doing a really bad job at being the White Ranger. I think that this in general feels more accurate, it feels more in scale, it feels more like one of the prop ones in some ways than this one. I think Red's is pretty solid, which we'll bring that in here in a minute. But it's like if you have these on the shelf together, I still think it looks good. Like they're obviously gonna have some differences in terms of wearing them and stuff, but if you wanna have like a Tommy helmet display, I think these still look good together. There's a little bit of a difference obviously in the style of it. And I think they both have their pros and cons. Like I said, I do like the magnet system, but wearing it makes it easier, but I almost wish it had both. Like you could do the magnets and then it's easy to put on, but if you needed to, you could secure it. Especially when I have my glasses on, sometimes when I would just move, it would come out. And like I said, it is noticeably, especially when I have my glasses on, a little harder to breathe in this one than this one was, even if I couldn't have my glasses on as easily. But let me just bring in Red too, because it's interesting to compare because it's more of a rounded shape. Okay, so here we have Red, and this one you can more noticeably tell the difference when I'm putting them side by side, because like I said, Green's is kind of a weird shape, so it's hard to tell. Here's the difference here in terms of the scale of them. I think this one was a lot, and I like the green one fine. Like I said, it's kind of a weird shape, and I felt they exaggerated a little bit. Whereas this one I think is actually pretty accurate in terms of the shape. It's just a lot bigger, so there's definitely a difference. I still don't think it's that huge of a deal in terms of putting them on the shelf together. Like I'm not like, oh, this is a peasant display now, but there's definitely a difference too, and this kind of has more of a matte finish feel. This feels weird. Good, you want this, don't you? And this is much more of a, no, I'm doing it again. Like, there we go. Why am I petting these helmets so much in this review? This is much more of, you can see like a shiny gloss finish, which it actually feels like. Like I think that this is in most ways superior, at least for me in a lot of ways, but I don't think these were that bad. I did really like these. One way I will say they're superior, other than not hyperventilating in the helmet, is I really did like the stands better. Like, you can see that they have the, it's not the greatest thing, but it just says Mighty Morphin Red Ranger on there, and I really prefer that to the cheap mmpr sticker that is on this one. But overall, I'm really, really happy with this. This is definitely pricey, but I'm really happy to own it. I like that both companies were starting to do helmets Wait, where's Wells? As well, because it's something that I always wanted and kind of always mulled around getting a prop. And I like having an official and easy source to get them from. And I love that we have the White Ranger one because it's one of my personal favorite suit designs and helmets. And it's kind of nice that they started with White Ranger stuff as opposed to green. So I think if you're a fan of the White Ranger stuff or you've always wanted a PR helmet, it's worth checking out. It's a bit pricey, but I really do dig it. I don't think it's perfect. I would maybe wait to see if there's a sale. Like, I know these went on sale, but, you know, that's good advice for anything. It doesn't matter if I'm like, you need this in your collection now. I would still advise waiting for a sale. But I'm really happy with this. Even if it's a smaller scale, it makes it feel a bit more accurate in some ways, and it feels a lot more like a prop. And I really like the way it works. When you're taking it off, it even makes you feel like, guess who's back? I really like the way that the inner adjustment works. It's a lot easier to work with, and it doesn't fall out every time I open it. And yeah, like, it could have some improvements. I would say if there was two little nitpicks that I had that I would fix on this thing was I wish that there was an option more so to secure it a little bit better sometimes when you had it in the closed mode, and I wish it was a little bit easier to breathe in these things. Anyway, that's about it for this one. Until next time, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and climb the steps, entering that bell to get notifications for all my videos, and check out my shirt store in the comments. Till next time, Dawson Ryder, signing out.